Okay, so I'm wondering if I'm live. Hold on, let me see. Oh, okay. Hey guys, what's going on? It's 4 a.m. or coming up on 4 a.m. Arizona time, 3 a.m. Nevada time. Usually I'm in bed by now. Usually I crash after a night of work. The new job is kicking my ass, I'm not gonna lie. Whew. But I'm in my first week and it's doing all right, all things considered. Uh Everything's been pretty good. I miss you guys. I miss talking to some of you. I wanted to see what you guys were up to. So I figured let's do a let's talk episode 3. I was gonna do a solo show tonight for game talk, but I was like, I'll just do one of these. I figured what the hell. Maybe next week I'll do that. I just wanted to get in touch with some of my peeps, see how you guys are doing. I know most of the views will come in after the stream, which is fine with me. For those of you that will be joining me during, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm getting my ass kicked at work. My fat ass hasn't done that kind of job in forever. So, being a fat boy running the floor like that, man, whew, tell you what, does wonders on your back. Shit. But you know what? It's healthy. I've already started losing weight from this job, so hey, it's pretty good. But like I said, it fucking hurts. What do they say? Pain is beauty, right? And that's how it works. Pain is beauty. Anyways, I hope everybody's doing well. I guess Shane got pretty sick last night. That really sucks. Pete was going to do the show with Rambo and Shane, and both Rambo, I mean, not Rambo, but Shane and Pete just weren't feeling good. So I guess they couldn't do it. So I hope they get better. But I just wanted to see what you guys were up to. Like I said, it's been a little bit since I've been able to talk to you guys. Like I said, usually I'm in bed by now. Usually I just crash. I don't know. Usually I'm too sore to fucking do one of these or even stay up at night anymore, really. By the time I get off of work, I'm sore and I just want to go to bed. pretty much. I just bitch out usually. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do this. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like the job is really kind of helping me a lot. It's keeping me focused more on the work. And I've kind of noticed that like when YouTube is pretty much what you get all the time, and that's what you're used to. You focus on the less important things when it comes to YouTube, I guess. And with this job, I am able to just not think about stuff. You know what I mean? Just worry about my work, go to work, come home, do what I want to do, go to sleep, wake up, do it again. And I've forgotten what that's like. You know what I mean? Like I have forgotten what that's like because I've been on YouTube for so long and doing social media stuff that I've completely spaced out like what it's like to have not just a job, but just being able to, get into a job that where I don't have enough time to focus on this stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be just looking at YouTube as a casual thing again. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be taking it as serious. A lot of stuff's not going to bother me as much as it once did. And I think that's a great thing personally. Especially when you have like idle hands, you know what I mean? You have idle hands, you're bored, or you deal with some of the drama that happens here. It's just not good. It's not healthy. So, like I said, it is what it is. Hopefully, I could keep that up. You know, not let things get to me, not let things bother me as much as I once did. It's amazing how much a job could like this can do for someone like me. Not have to worry about some of the dumber shit that takes place here on YouTube. But I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you guys are gaming. I hope you guys are having fun. I hope you guys are keeping your heads out of the drama. But I do kind of want to say something about Cyrus. Cyrus did one of these live streams a little bit ago, and he talked about politics. And me and Cyrus are pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like he's a cool dude. But he said something that I was just kind of like, it kind of threw me through the side. I was like, what the fuck? He says, "If you still support Trump, even after all the stupid shit he said, he can't take you seriously." And he goes on, and he gets to a point where he actually starts to alienate groups of people for supporting Trump, which I think is kind of, I don't know, maybe he was just tired. That's what I want to believe. He was just tired. He wasn't feeling good or something. I don't know. But personally, I'm one of those like, if you're gonna talk politics, that's cool. Talk politics, but don't alienate sides. You know what I mean? Like I don't like I voted for Trump, but I didn't or I don't hang on or hinge on to everything the man says. You know what I mean? I voted for the man, and I am glad I voted for the man still to this day, even though the guy has done so many different things stupid over social media and said some pretty ignoramus things. I'm still glad that I voted for him. I don't support everything he says. I think a lot of the stuff he's very ignorant on. But this is what I've told people, like, we gotta teach this guy, you know what I mean? This guy doesn't know shit about video games. Like, come the fuck on. Anybody who has, like, over half a brain would know that this guy knows nothing about fucking video games or even guns, really. He doesn't even have a gun, if I remember correctly, or if he does, I mean, if he does or doesn't, that's irrelevant. I don't think he even knows what a fucking bump stock is. You know what I mean? Like, it's just stupid shit. Um, and his whole like take the guns away first and then do process after. I don't agree with that. I think that's fucking stupid. But like but it's like I stated before. Like I don't think mentally handicapped people should have fucking guns. I don't believe somebody with fucking a mental disorder or bipolar or, and I mean I'm talking about extreme cases, by the way, not the minor, not the the small case. I'm talking about those guys that they're actually a danger to themselves and to other people. You know what I mean? Like I just want to make that very clear. Um, I don't think they should. I don't think they should have armaments. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. Like, why would you? Like, it baffles me. You know what I mean? Like, it baffles me. A lot of the shootings have been taken, or a lot of the shootings, not all of them, but a lot of the shootings were done by mentally unstable people. You know what I mean? You have to look at it this way. What person has went into a church or a store or a school with a clear mind? Think about this. A clear mind to shoot up the place. Like what normal person has ever done that? I want you to think about that real quick. It doesn't make sense, does it? Like who in their right mind just comes up one day and is like, "Hey, I feel like shooting up this fucking place. What do you guys think?" Like it doesn't make sense, does it? And that's kind of my point. Like we're at this like empath with people like they think everybody should have guns. um and I'm all and I mean to a degree, yes, right, like to a degree, but I'm sorry, but if you're mentally fucked up to a point where like a psychologist has told you you're a danger to yourself and to others around you, no, you do not need a gun, period. You do not need a fucking gun. You shouldn't have a gun. Hell, in my opinion, you shouldn't even have a fucking knife. You know what I mean? You shouldn't even be allowed to have a steak knife in your house. Like it's just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me. But anyways, I'm just going on right now. I'm just randomly talking. I had a point, and it was Cyrus, don't be alienating people. This is how you get yourself into shit, dude. Don't alienate people when it comes to talking about politics. When you alienate people, that's where your problems start. You know what I mean? This is where your issues begin. So, future reference, don't alienate people. Seriously. and the whole thing of like, he was like saying something about you can't take people seriously, right? Like, come on, man. Like, you want people to take you seriously? Like, do you care if people take you seriously? I mean, like you can't be saying one thing and doing another. You know what I mean? Like you've got to like follow through with everything that you've stated. You can't just be all about what other people say and not about what you're saying. You know what I mean? It's about the message that you present to people, and sometimes it gets lost in the transition. So like it's not even so much about what you say to people; it's how you say it. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind, bro. Uh, what else is there to talk about? Like I said, it's been a while for me. It's work's been kicking my ass. Been really, really busy. We've got some events coming up. So I may not be on this for a little while until those events are done. Man, I tell you, get your ass beat a few times and you're just like fucking wiped, man. You don't even want to get on here. You don't want to do videos. You don't want to do any of this stuff. I've got a video I got to do tomorrow for Nero. So Nero, if you're watching this, don't worry, I haven't forgotten. He's doing a video game. He's doing a video about mental health in video games, and I'm going to be sharing my sort of opinions or thoughts about that. I think video games help more people that have mental instabilities than anything really. I know when I was a kid and I was diagnosed with ADHD, video games actually balanced me out quite a bit. I couldn't focus on a whole lot as a kid, you know, as a little dude. I couldn't really I couldn't. I really couldn't. I had a hard time focusing. I had a hard time learning things because I couldn't focus at all. Like so much so to the point that you know, I it was really bad as I'm not saying I was bad as a kid. It was just a really bad situation as a kid growing up with stuff like that without understanding what it means to have ADHD, you know what I mean? And if you lived in Arizona and you went to a psychologist back in those days, like most of these people, God, these people were fucking idiots. Even to now, I think they're, you know, some degree they're still moronic to the bone. Um, but like you don't really have an understanding or at least a good bearing on it when you're a kid. I mean, you're told, hey, you have ADHD. Here's some medicine for you. They don't really explain what it is. You know what I mean? Like they just tell the parents and they assume the parents know what it is. They prescribe medicine to you and you just take this until a certain age or until your mind sort of balances out. And I don't know. Like that's just that's how it was when I was a kid, you know? And I like I said, video games for some reason it always kind of kept my attention better and it balanced my focus out quite a bit. So like I'd be playing like a couple of hours of fucking Tekken or Street Fighter, Alpha 3 or Omega Boost or some shit. And I could get homework done afterwards, believe it or not. It was crazy. It was absolutely insane. I never knew why. I just knew that that's what balanced me out. So here I am going on and on about fucking past stuff. What have you guys have been up to? I mean, what's my audience been up to? Like I really don't know. I don't know what you guys been up to lately. Like I said, I've been working my ass off, so I almost have no time for a lot of people anymore. I'm just so busy at work. It's just fucking ridiculous. Quest rewards? What the fuck? Uh, is there any news? Like, I don't know if there's any gaming news. Oh, I guess there's some sales thing going on where, like, I guess Nintendo's going to be overtaking Microsoft in sales. That's cool. That's cool. Good for them. I mean, hell yeah. More power to Nintendo. Get those numbers up. Fuck, we all know they need it since after the Wii U shit that happened. Holy fuck. They got fucking trampled with that Wii U sales, man. They got fucked. But yeah, I mean, like I said, man, I've been like you guys, you know, I've been pretty busy at work. What else is there? I haven't really gamed at all, actually, now that I think about it. I've been buying some fucking games. Like I'll log on here every now and then just to like get up, check on some sales, and then if I see something I like, I'll just pick it up and I'll make plans to play it later. I haven't really played any games whatsoever. I've downloaded some shit and that was about it. That's as far as it's gotten. I haven't really done anything else after that. I tried to play some Call of Duty the other day, and I literally logged out and went to bed because I was so tired. Like I don't even see like that's the thing. Like right now, I like it is almost what is this now? 4:13 a.m. Arizona time. So like I'm usually in bed by now. Um, I'm usually in bed shortly around like 2:30 a.m. Nevada time, and I'm out like a light. Because my ass gets fucking worn out at work so easily now. It's like, God, fuck, I'm turning 35 this month. God damn, 35 fucking years old, you guys. I never thought I'd ever make it that far. I always thought I'd piss off too many people and I'd probably be dead by now. Oh shit! There's the chat. Dudes, sorry about that. Oh fuck. Hey guys. I'm just sitting here, just talking into the mic. Yeah, Cyrus. Well, I'm on Google Hangouts, but I could invite you to Google Hangouts if you want to come on. Young Vig, what's up, buddy? Go get going on. Cyrus, Levon. Fuck, dude. Like, I didn't know you guys were here. Like, I kept looking in this window to see if you guys were here, and I didn't see shit. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like all these texts came in. What's going on, bros? I hope all is well with you guys, man. I miss you guys. Like I said, like I was saying earlier, I am so fucking tired. I don't get to see you guys very much anymore. Usually, I usually talk to you guys all the fucking time, and it's just like, since this job, it's just like, okay, I don't really feel like talking. I'm just gonna get on here, check some things, and go to bed. I mean, that's kind of where I've been. Jesus Christ, I did. Oh, you just got in. Oh well, whatever. You're here. That's cool. You want to come on, Cyrus, or no? Let me know if you want to come on, man. I'll throw you an invite, sir. Like I said, this is Google Hangouts. This isn't through OBS, so I'm not gonna be. I'm not streaming through Discord. If I was streaming regularly through Discord, I could just jump into your thing and be like, yeah. Oh, all right, cool. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. Think I can add you through. Oh, okay. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead, copy and paste this to you. Oh man. Let me see if I could find our DMs. Ah, there you are. Stuff Cyrus says. There you go, sir. Just click that and jump on in whenever you're ready. Oh. That's cool. You chewed up gum and turned it into paste. What the fuck? Vig, what the fuck, dude? Oh, my back. Oh, my back. Oh, man. Getting old, guys. I'm getting old. I'm turning 35 this month. Jesus. Oh. Turning 35. Don't know what I'm going to do. I think my girl said she wanted to go to Vegas. So we might end up going to Vegas, hopefully. Or you know what? I'll probably just stay here and just chill. I don't fucking know. You old fuck. Hey, Cyrus, what's up, buddy?
Hola, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, cool. Hey, I missed the first part of what you were saying. You were talking about Donald Trump, and what did I do? I did something horrible.
No, you didn't. It's not, okay, look, you didn't do anything horrible. What I was okay, so I did address you at the very beginning, somewhat in the beginning. So what I was saying to you was, like, try not to alienate people when it comes to discussing politics, because that's kind of where, like, all the issues when it comes to talking to politics or talking about politics come from.
Yeah.
Because you can easily overgeneralize a whole group of people that may not agree with Donald Trump, but they still support him as a president. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
okay. Yeah.
That's all I was trying to say. Like, I wasn't chewing your ass out or anything. I was just because I was regarding because like I barely get time to really watch anything, and one of the things I catch up on are some of your guys' channels, and one of the things that you talked about in the video that I watched the other night when I came home was you were saying something about if you still support Donald Trump, then you can't be taken seriously, or they can't be taken seriously.
Oh yeah.
And I was just saying, you can't expect people to really respect what you have to say if they're immediately going to be discredited prior to even being able to answer you. You know what I mean? So
I agree with you completely. Like, my sometimes I don't think about context. This is actually my biggest problem. I've gotten myself into some stupid messes several times because I don't lay out context enough to what I'm saying. Like
Right.
I'm what I was talking about was in context to what he had been doing. Like
Yeah, oh yeah. Like I was saying before, like the guy's a fucking idiot when it comes to certain things. Like, in fact, one of the things I stated was like, I think Donald Trump's kind of an ignoramus dude.
well, and he had fucking in the course of like 24 hours fucking
Yeah.
completely reversed course on everything he had said he I was like, well, who the hell's going to support this guy now? That was my mindset, was like, man, if you had voted for this guy thinking that this is what he believed, and then he says this shit, and you still support him, I'm like, what? Wait a minute. Like, I was like, something's not adding up here. But you're right. Sometimes I word things in a real look. I'm an asshole. I mean, that's the truth.
I think we're all assholes to a certain degree, man. I mean, come on.
I've become aware of it. Like, and the only thing I can do is I can apologize if I go too far, because sometimes I do. I run my fucking mouth. I know that I do that. Today on Twitter was a great example of that, by the way, if you're curious.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, you don't want to know.
I want to know now. God.
I wasted the entire day.
Bro, I don't get to talk to you guys very much since I started, like a week in, and I think this is the first time I've been able to talk to you since our last stream. So, I mean,
it has been forever. I thought you were mad at me. And then when I saw this, I was like, oh, fuck, he really is mad at me.
Oh, no, I'm not mad. No.
Like, fuck, I have alienated Brimstone. Like,
oh, jeez.
That's why I was like, hey, you want me to come on? Because I was like, fuck. What have I done? Stupid fucking mouth. I don't know when to shut up. I shouldn't have a YouTube channel.
No, you're good, dude.
Stupid microphone. It's this fucking microphone. That's the problem.
Yeah. Son of a bitch.
Like a microphone gets in front of me and I just say whatever. Anyway. But yeah, today was fun on Twitter. But you know what I did? I made this terrible mistake. I made the classic mistake. I made the mistake what is the thing that happens on Twitter that has driven me and Rambo both insane? What is the thing that we have both
objective and subjective?
Oh, there you go. There you go. I spent the whole day in that with Fratanga and all of his Stonesy was in there and all of his people, and Top Hats and Champagne stopped by and said a few things here and there.
Oh boy.
It was like a who's who of PC Master Race people. And it was very non-productive. Of course, they have their feelings about things, but I thought we were pretty civil with each other, actually. I thought we had a pretty good talk most of the time. Yeah. It wasn't bad. And honestly, I walked away kind of I had a much better opinion of Fratanga and Stonesy. I actually did. I actually walked away feeling like, I mean, yeah, there was still some of that venom, but we were, for the most part, able to actually talk, which I liked. It was fun. There was a few people, and I don't know who they are. I'm not like
familiar they're like what I call the add-ons, like people you just won't remember later down the line.
Right. Yeah. There was a few people that they were real persistent with it, and that's why it lasted all day. Because I kept trying to get out of it. I kept trying to say, all right, that's we're not gonna come to an agreement here, and it's fine. But you know how that goes. It's Twitter. If you put something out there, and then their followers see it, then they respond, and they attack. Then they what do they call it? Tag people. And then they see it, and then they want to put their 2 cents, and then it's like this whole. I mean, right now on Twitter, it's finally dying down. But every time I would check Twitter, it was like 15, 20, 30 freaking notifications. I'm like, oh. It went on and on for quite a while.
Oh man. Well, I mean, that's better than what I could expect. I mean, usually, um,
Well,
you
I brought
hear
it on
any of
myself.
the. Well, I mean, I mean, you admit it. I mean, that's your thing. That's cool. I'm glad you know, well, you like you said, most of it was pretty good, so that's positive. That's more than I could say for what's happened with me and these guys. But I mean, with you,
I
hey,
know,
that's good. That's
dude.
with you, that's actually a plus. I'm actually surprised it turned out so well. I'll tell you the truth.
Well, I was really trying. I was really trying to be. Um, I was trying to be pleasant. And not
Yeah.
and not. Yeah, sometimes here and there I was still an asshole, but for the most part, I was really trying to just have a civil conversation. And
Oh, that's cool.
I think that the bad blood that exists between people is a lot of times it's just this fake like it's like a veneer that we paint on something. Like we paint the barn red and we think the barn is red, but it's not. It just has red paint on it. You know what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say? Like
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I'm just brain. But I don't think that any of that has ever been personal. Not even with what he who shall not be named. I don't believe that any of that is personal. I think it's just silly. It's all very fucking silly. It's
uh, yeah,
and what I started a separate YouTube channel, which you found. Thank you.
yeah.
Uh, and that one actually is part of the reason that I did this, because I was like, I started that other channel so I could talk, because I
Right.
really felt like I couldn't talk. And
You're not allowed to have a voice.
right, and that got brought up in the midst of this conversation because they were like, you're what is the word they call me? Uh, there's a word they like to use when they refer to me.
Um,
In disingenuous.
Disingenuous. There
Yes,
you go.
I'm disingenuous. And then they elaborated a little bit and said that 1 minute you'll be acting this way and acting like you're like civil and you want to have a conversation, and the next minute you'll be a fucking asshole and like all this kind of stuff. And I was like, well, how's that being disingenuous? I respond to what I receive. I mean, if
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and act the same way the whole time, that would be disingenuous. But I actually was trying to keep my shit like down and not just go after people and be nasty. I was actually just trying to have a conversation, and I felt like we did for the most part. And I think,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, I, because there's so much playground bullshit, like people beefing with each other, and we don't even remember why we're mad at certain people, and we don't remember, like I don't know. It's all just very silly to me. So
Well,
I'm glad you're cool with me, because I was like, fuck, I'm gonna fuck that
no,
up.
we're good. No, we're good. Dude, it takes a lot to piss me off. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand is I'm actually a pretty easygoing person. Like, it takes a lot to really get under my skin.
But that's what I was saying. I was like, I fucking pissed him off. I was like, oh my god, if I pissed Brim off, I was really evaluating my life for a couple seconds.
Shut
I was
up.
like, what the? I'm like, maybe I am this guy that everybody thinks I am. Maybe
You're like, I am an asshole.
maybe I should go drink bleach and find some Tide Pods.
Fucking Tide Pod martinis, baby.
Shaken, not stirred.
Uh,
But yeah, what a day that has been. So tell me, everyone wants to talk to you, and nobody has been able to because you're the man now.
right. I know. I got a job. Oh shit.
Everybody misses the shit out of you. Tell me what's been going on. Like, what's the job like? What's up? What's your days been like?
Well, the job is pretty good. It's just like I was just saying earlier, like being a fat man going across the fucking slots floor in a casino, fucking giving people change and working on slot machines. I mean, I've done this for so long, you know what I mean? But like I've never been in the position though where I was fat and then getting into it. It was always the other way around, where I was like somewhat fit getting into it, and then I would like gradually just get thicker. so
Right.
so I wouldn't have any of the issues. But now no, my fucking back hurts, my fucking legs hurt. Like I am a fucking wreck when it comes to coming home. Usually I don't even want to get on the computer. I literally come home, I get into bed, and I fucking crash. I'll get up at like 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., somewhere around there naturally. I'll get on here for a little bit, like literally like an hour, maybe tops. And that's
Mm.
usually enough time to watch some of your stuff. I'll watch some other people that I follow stuff. And then I get on Twitter, see what everybody's up to. And if I see like a chain thing going on, then I try to avoid it. I don't
Yeah.
I don't feel like going through like 30 fucking notifications just to see what the fuck's going on anymore. Like
Dude, yeah.
it's been really good, man. It really has. We just got our tips for the week. My first week's of tips I haven't even gathered yet. I'm just gonna let it just pile up before I go get it. The money's
Nice.
pretty good so far. It's uh definitely a career move. You know what I mean? It's definitely not something you could just say, oh, this is just some job. No, this is an actual career move. So I mean, I
Oh,
make
dude, that's
more
good.
money out here than most people do. So it's a definitely a good fucking position to be in for what I do. So, and especially for the area that I live in. Oh my gosh. It's awesome.
I'm really glad, dude. I'm really glad there's something about having a job. When you don't have a job, it's on your mind, and
Yep.
it's just such a good thing to get back to work. And it sounds like it's a good job too.
Oh
So
yeah, it is. It's a slots is something I've done. I've got like 11 years into slots. And it's always been slots. Yes, the slots. Um, and I was just talking about this a bit ago, where like I feel like YouTube is going to become more of a casual thing for me because when you are jobless for the period that I was jobless for, and you're on here every day, like things get to you more. You know what I mean? Like
oh yeah,
you start taking things to heart, and things that normally wouldn't bother you are now bothering you, and that's kind of what happened with me. You know what I mean? Like usually online interactions I can just deal with and push forward. You know what I mean? A lot
totally.
easier. So what's up, Omega? Welcome, sir. What's going on? You just woke up? Well, good morning. So like I figure like that's what's gonna happen is I'll probably end up have like one or two edits here and there for the gaming channel, and then hopefully I'll be able to do something like this but for the game talk, which I'm thinking about trying to see like what kind of stuff I want to do for game talk. Beastmaster, welcome, sir.
I hope that y'all can work out something that makes sense.
Yeah, so do I, man. So do I. It's
I know. I know. I mean, I haven't talked to everybody in a couple days, but I know everybody was really wanting to try to figure that out.
yeah. Pete isn't feeling good right now. Shane got sick. His kids got him sick.
Hmm.
And I know Rambo didn't want to do this shit by himself.
Well, yeah, dude. Like
So
talking just by yourself can be daunting sometimes because you run out of stuff to say, and you're just like you don't have any direct feedback for the conversation. There's
yeah.
no, there's no conversation. You're talking, and I completely understand. I completely understand
Oh
that.
yeah. I still kind of want to do the whole um double show type thing where people could be on during the day and then I'll take the night shift when I get off at like 1 a.m.
Yeah,
Because that's
totally.
that's my normal work schedule is going to be 5 to 1 from here on out. So 5 to 1 a.m. and then Monday Tuesdays off, and Monday Tuesdays will be good for. I mean, I guess I could do something then when the missus is asleep because we
Mm.
have the same days off, and that's so we can spend some time together because she works day shift, and I haven't really been able to spend that much time with her. So
Oh yeah.
she's going through like severe separation anxiety because she's used to seeing me every day. So now she gets home and she's all depressed. She's like, I don't want to watch TV. You're not here. I'm like, oh come on. But yeah, so I
Well,
think I figure she's gonna be going to bed around like 10 or 11 naturally. So
mm,
I figure probably sometime after that I'll get on here and we'll figure something out.
well, anytime, especially if you're getting off work, just message me on Discord or whatever. And I'm more than likely am available. You
Oh
know,
yeah, I do. Like totally. Cause I know you're I think you said what was it, 2 hours ahead of me? Or is it an hour
yeah.
ahead of me? I can't
What
remember.
time is it there right now?
Arizona time, it's 4:34.
It's 5:34 here.
Okay. All right. And I usually go by and I see it and I usually go by Nevada time, which doesn't really matter either way. So yeah, like we could totally do something at night and we'll let the other dudes do something during the day for game talk. There's all kinds of different paneling that I wanted to do, new edits for the new art for the channel and for the
Oh yeah.
overlays for OBS and whatnot. So all kinds of new stuff I want to do. Just trying to find the time to do it is the hard part.
You know what we can talk about? We can talk. We can talk about Donald Trump.
Right? Him being the possible next Bush. Oh God.
Well, it's funny because I have very different. I don't know if I'd say very different, but I lean more liberal than you guys do. And it's always interesting to have a discussion. Like whenever y'all are talking about stuff and on the show, sometimes it gets tedious, and I'm like, okay, I don't really, this is going
Yeah.
on, but just a little bit is interesting sometimes.
Yeah.
To see the different perspective, to see what's on the other side of the wall, so to speak. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Because we're both sitting on the wall. I think we're just leaning a different direction.
I've always kind of considered myself center of the road.
Yeah,
There's certain things that I do tip to the left on, and there are certain things I tip to the right on, and
yeah,
I think it's a
me too.
pretty equal. I think it's a pretty equal thing, you know.
Well, that's
Um,
funny because I always thought that I was more conservative than I actually am. Like what I've learned from talking to people and listening to like you guys and different people online is that I'm not nearly as conservative as I thought I was. I mean, I was very surprised by myself actually, and and
right?
sometimes I think that it's that's why it's good to have a little bit. It's not good to you don't want to have you don't want to turn into like a 2 hour discussion about something, but a little bit, 30 minutes or whatever on something's not that bad.
No, no, especially if it's going to be a good conversation where parties involved in that conversation can learn
Oh,
some stuff.
wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be interesting to hear a political talk where people weren't like adversarial, where they were more like, let's have a discussion about this topic and listen to each other and have
Yeah.
consideration for points.
Yep.
Wouldn't
I
that be novel?
it's it's funny you should say that. Game Talk was originally based on trying to help people understand points of views when it comes to technology and political indifferences.
Mm.
And that was before what's his face got on there. And it was just the three of us. We were really looking into just trying to help people, and look how well that turned out.
Well, I
uh,
don't have a whole lot of faith in my own ability um to bring an idea to people that are of an opposite point of view, as evidenced by what happened today.
right.
But it's I'm good at listening and making interjecting when I can and trying to see where the conversation takes us if people are willing to talk. I mean,
Yeah.
my dad is a hardcore Baptist preacher. My dad is about as right wing as you can get. He was
Oh yeah.
he was in the first Iraq War. He drove a tank. He's a old school mofo, and I've never had a conversation with him other than him yelling and slamming things around, saying this is what he believes, and by God, if anybody disagrees with him, then whatever. And I'm like, yes, sir, absolutely, whatever you say, sir.
I think like I think my thing is like a lot of people kind of misunderstand me. They call me what was it, anti identi- identitarianism is what they call it. It's where you don't like to be identified as anything. And,
Oh,
and
interesting.
I'm not so much that. I'm just like I don't believe we should just group some people up together.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like I don't believe like all liberals think the same. I don't think all Republicans or conservatives all think the same. That so whenever I hear some fucking idiot down the street go, "Oh, well, you fucking liberal fucking retard," it's like, come on, dude. Like, really? Like, aren't we past this? Can't we just fucking talk? Like, well, I mean,
Yeah.
do we have to yell at each other all the time?
It's interesting you said the anti, what was it you called it?
Anti-identitarianism.
Identitarianism. Is that something that people refer to other, like, I'm trying to figure out like the context of that label. Is that something that nobody claims that label, right? I mean, that's not.
No. I think this was no. This was just. I think this was just recently like made up.
It's like something people say about other people, right?
Yeah.
They say that guy he has anti identitarianism because he won't accept his label.
It's like, but like, it's so easy to label people, right? Like,
Yeah,
look at the number one reason as to why people label each other different shit, right? Like, the first thing they do after they drop the label is they try to separate you from the rest of the fucking group or the talk. You know what I mean? It's like
right.
the fastest thing they could do is label you and then just say fuck off, pretty much. And that's what it comes down to when you have like these debates of left versus right.
Yeah.
And I think it's nonsense, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, it doesn't really solve anything. In fact, you've probably made more enemies at the end of the day than trying to actually help each other understand each other's point of views, which is fucking stupid. Um,
Yeah.
so whenever I see people online go, "Oh, you fucking left wing fucking hippie, fucking you liberal fucking snowflake retard," it's like, well, I'm glad you get that off your chest, bud. But like, what was the point of that? I mean, did you
Well,
even think to talk to that person, or were you just like in a pissed off mood and you wanted to like drop some fucking hate his way so you could feel better? I mean,
well, that is the nature of the internet, isn't it? To marginalize somebody so that they can be easily categorized in such a way to where you don't have to actually talk to them, right? Because all you got to do once you identify them and label them is then pull out your bullet points that you have for that particular
right?
group, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a way of not, it's a way of dehumanizing people, you know?
It's easier to dehumanize somebody and talk shit to them than it is to talk and than it is to just have a meaningful conversation without having to do any of that, right? Like it's
Exactly.
just easier, and that's how a lot of these people do it. And at the end of the day, you know, we're all human, and that's what they don't like to hear. You know,
Mm.
it's kind of stupid. You would think that we'd be past this already. I mean, 2018. Fucking hell, man, something's got to fucking change.
It's fucked up. Like I feel like there was a period in the late 90s, mid to late 90s where we had made a lot of progress.
Yeah.
Like we were talking more, politics was more diverse. There wasn't like this divide, at least not as clear a divide, things had calmed down since the riots had happened and Rodney King and all that stuff, and people were starting to become more of one people. And then
All right,
um
Omega.
oh, okay, all
No,
right,
no, no.
man, take care. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then honestly, you know what I think it was? I think
Smartphones. Sorry, go ahead.
well, the internet, man, the internet.
Yeah.
But it's like we set it up like every like worst case scenario for like bringing people together happened at the same time. Like we had the internet, then here comes the smartphones, right? And then Barack Obama runs for president, right?
Yeah.
A man whose name sounds like he's a Middle Eastern, he's black, and
A
he's like a little bit pompous, right?
little bit.
Perfect fucking storm, right? Everybody's side on that shit, you know.
Yeah.
And that started. That was the beginning of the de-evolution of our political. I don't know, congealment. I don't know what word. We were like, okay, everybody take a side, and that's why when people say that shit to you, they're mad because you're not playing the game. You know, you're not. You know,
I
taking
think
a side.
I think what it is, dude, is like we're too old for this fucking shit, dude. Like this
Yeah.
is retarded, man. Like this is like I'm coming up in my years where I'm just looking at this shit now, and I've always kind of looked at it this way though. Even in my early years here on YouTube, when it came to the whole console war concept, I've always carried that this one ideal that uh, you there's no point of the label in the first place, really. I mean, left, right, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. That person's going to think what they think. And if you fail to change their mind, it's not the end of the world. They're just not ready to change their mind, you know? And this is the ideology that I've always carried. This is the one thing that's remained the same about me since I started YouTube all them years ago is I just think I mean, we have so many websites, right? We have so many websites. You have like the Conservative Tribune, you have the Washington Post, you have
Pornhub.
Pornhub.
No, I got you.
Spank Banks are us. No, it's just you have all these different outlets painting their own picture, right? Their own extreme ideologies. Like, have you seen the new thing now? Like the alt right is trying to create a white ethno state, and then they have like an entire black group that are trying to do the same thing that are also alt right. They're trying to make a black ethno state. Have you seen that shit here on YouTube yet?
You know,
Dude,
I
that is some
don't.
cringy shit.
Yeah, I don't even pay attention to that stuff, man. Like it, I really feel like those kind of things have probably always happened, but the media is so like aggressive with trying to like spread the word and make sure everybody knows, you know, hey, there's these guys and we're all supposed to be upset. And I'm like so tired of fake outrage and what's the next crisis? You know, everything's a crisis. And I'm like, can we chill the fuck out? You know, I mean, like we don't have to be at each other's throats.
You
We
know,
really,
you know what it is, dude, is like we've gotten so programmed into thinking, our next news source is going to come up through our phones and that every time we log into Facebook, there's going to be some new fact that just came out today,
yeah,
it's not like it used to be. It's not like it, back in the day, Cyrus, back when we were teens, I would have just came up to you and say, "Hey man, what's up? My name is such and such. I just saw you over here. Thought, what the hell? Let's talk." That's how it used to be when we were kids, and they don't do that shit anymore. People would rather hide behind labels and they would rather identify themselves as certain things first before getting to know other people. So that way
you're right,
they
dude.
can either they can just, self-separate themselves from other people. And that's stupid.
I find it fascinating when when dealing with people online. I find it fascinating how especially the younger people that are in their early 20s or late teens,
Yeah.
they're real obsessed with these concepts, these like academic concepts that we never fucking gave a shit about. Like, would you? I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, I think, and I was like, I'm gonna say something that's gonna kind of give away what I'm talking about. But would you ever in your life? I'm just gonna ask you this, Brim. Is there any circumstance you could imagine in your life going about your daily routine at work, dealing with family stuff, whatever, where you would refer to yourself as an egalitarian.
Oh God.
I'm just, this is the kind of
I see
thing
where this is
that,
going. Yeah.
this is the kind of thing that makes me shake my head because I'm like, who are these people? You know, like that, they're obsessed with like these like I said, academic concepts, not real world, like day-to-day living type stuff. Like,
Applications, yeah.
right, I would never in my life. Hi, my name's Cyrus Martin. I'm an egalitarian. How are you? Oh, I'm a classic stoic. Oh, really? Okay. Come on. Like, but there are people out there who that's how they identify, and they tell you that they'll proclaim it loudly,
No, I know. Yeah.
and it's just so silly that there's so many people that are just so the internet, I believe, has really ruined uh like communication, like uh the conversation doesn't exist, you know.
You look at well look at the internet though. I mean, you can be an armchair psychologist, you could be an
Yeah.
armchair lawyer, you can tell people that you've majored in different academics, you could be a pseudo academic, I mean, people who identify themselves to their political stances, whether it's academic or not. I think it's a little silly. And I don't know what's worse, identifying as that particular thing or not seeing it through all the way for what that thing actually means. It's just there's a lot of people that do that. I think for the most part they just want to seem more intelligent than they really are. They feel like puffing their chests up, making themselves feel more important is something that they should do for themselves because it makes them feel good, and that's the sort of thing that they do.
Right.
um it's just the internet, man. You could do whatever you want, you could be whoever you want, and
Oh,
that's what people do, man. It's sad. They can't. There's if anything, the internet has taken away the most key, one of the more key sources when it comes to interactions with other people, and that's being genuine. There's no such thing as being genuine anymore.
well, I
Like
don't know anything about genuineness because I'm what's
you're a
the word?
disingenuous
I'm
prick.
disingenuous. Levon makes a good point in the chat. The internet, you can be whatever you want. People live out these fantasies of who they are.
Yep.
They become convinced of their own. Like, what do they say? Never eat your own bullshit, or I don't know what the saying is, but like, you're not supposed to buy into your own fantasy, But people do. People live
Yep.
as though that their online persona is a real person,
Yep.
And I'm
And that's
like,
the thing. And that's the thing. Like they they have allowed themselves to fake it till they make it for so long that to them it's no longer faking it. You know,
well,
it's
yeah, it's so strange. And honestly, we have a frame of reference because we know what the world was like before this,
mhm. Yeah.
and I feel bad for the kids and the young people because they don't know, man. They got no frame of reference. This is this is just
The only thing they fucking know, dude, is Xbox One and PlayStation 4. They don't know what mud is and like what we had to deal with to our online gaming experiences. What mud was, the text-based RPGs that your friends would make, or Tales of Karchan. I mean, come on, man. These people don't know any of that shit. Like all they understand is modern technology.
Did you ever program in BASIC? Did you ever do like text
Dark
based?
Basic. I
Oh,
did
really?
Dark Basic, yeah. NT
Yeah, I
Basic.
remember Dark Basic.
Back when
I
they had the hyperdisk, remember that shit? It was a special DVD or CD that you had to use for rendering.
we used to do. I had an Apple IIe, and we had BASIC on that, and I would make programs, and we would you didn't download back then. We would order through the mail discs to share, like shareware. That's what the name comes from, shareware. That
Yeah.
was actually shared through the mail, and you would get the discs, you would copy them, and then you'd send them on to somebody else. and we used to have text-based RPGs that we would play, and then we would make our own with basic. And it was a man, that was a long fucking time ago. I'm old, but I remember Dark Basic too. But that was like the free version of basic they brought out in the late '90s, I think.
Yeah, they still produced it even back in like 2002.
Yeah,
I
it's
had
so
the
funny.
deluxe. I had a deluxe edition from back when Hastings was opened up over here by my house.
LaFont says, "Remember playing in a box?" Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. We used to get in the empty boxes and paint them up like they were cars and shit. And we would take, I remember one time, me, my cousin, and my brother, we had a whole bunch of big boxes and we cut them all up and taped them. And we put like you remember this? They had this toy called a Light Bright.
Oh my god!
You know what that is?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
You fucking it was like a little black thing, and you put your little plastic pegs into the
yeah,
holes, and it would light up different
yeah.
colors. Yeah.
Yeah, so we put one of those in the front of it, like it's the headlights to the car, right? And like, yeah, we would do stupid shit. Like we used to like when we were a little bit older, when we were like 10, 11, 12, we would get like boards and like go out in the backyard and like build a fort, you know? And then
Yep.
we would try to sleep out there.
Oh my god, dude! I lived. You know what's funny is my years doing that. When I was a kid was out in this town. It's about 30 minutes from here, called Golden Valley. Right? We're talking back then. It was like population 1,000. So
Yeah.
we lived way the fuck out of the middle of nowhere. It took the cops like 3 hours to get to us. That's how far out we lived.
Oh wow.
But my neighbor and their kids, so like we were like sort of like all best friends out there, and we would take fucking pallets that we found in the desert and boards and go to a wash. We would dig out parts of a wash, and we had like this whole underground fucking hut. It was like, I mean, that's what we did though. I mean, fucking
Yeah.
rattlesnakes didn't bother us. Mojave greens didn't bother us. It was just a bunch of fucking kids having fun. I mean, I wish things were like that still. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It sucks that it's not, you know. We've ruined ourselves, man. We really have. Like,
And speaking of light brights, do you remember how hot those fucking things got?
dude, they had fucking back then. Light bulbs were hotter than shit. They didn't. It wasn't all these like fancy, whatever kind of lights they have now. These little fucking lights that last.
The LEDs, yeah.
Those fuck, and they would smoke. And and bulbs didn't fucking last for shit back then, man. It'd be like you'd have a bulb and it would burn out in like 2 weeks or some shit. That was the good old days. Good old fucking days.
Yo, fucking, oh my god. So they came out with a. Do you remember these? I'm pretty sure they were out when you were younger as well. They were circuit boards. They were like your experimental circuit board.
Oh yeah, we had that shit.
Yeah. you could make your own fucking CB radio. You can make a broadcasting thing with it, and different wiring setups did different things, and you could play with it and figure it out as to what you wanted to do. I had a bunch of those when I was a kid. That shit was
and we had little chemistry sets.
Yeah.
It was like harmless shit. Like it wasn't anything major, but it was.
Oh, what was that one that was really popular when we were kids? It was a chemistry set. It was fuck. It was like a Halloween thing. Remember that shit? You make candy and gummy worms and shit out of it.
Dude, yeah, they used to have all kinds of stuff like that where you would
make, dude, like
you would, and we had snow cone machines. Like you would make snow cones with ice cubes and fucking. Dude, you're bringing back so many memories. Fuck. Oh, I didn't realize Infinite Retro was here. What's up, dude? What's up, brah?
What's up, bruh?
How you been? See what I did there? Oh, but dude, yeah, man, toys. People cared about toys back then. Like now, Toys R Us going out of fucking business because nobody buys fucking toys anymore. You know?
Baby Toys went out of business.
It really sucks because the technology's finally gotten to where they can make some fucking badass fucking toys. and now nobody wants them.
You know who out of all these years have really stood the test of time and they're still extremely popular? Motherfucking Lego, man.
Oh yeah,
Damn, those guys have those
dude.
guys have been hanging on for
Lego's
fucking
the only.
ever.
Lego's it, man. They run fucking toys now. Like, if it wasn't for Lego, there wouldn't be no fucking Toys R Us. Like, when's the last time you went into Toys R Us?
Oh
Do you even
fuck.
remember? It's been a long time, right?
That would probably be like what Final Fantasy VII had just launched.
Oh God, so long.
That's been forever, dude.
1997, maybe.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
Okay, so I go into Toys R Us at least once a year. I go in around Christmas time because I'm trying to find something at the last minute usually. And the last time I went in, they have an enormous section that's nothing but Lego, and it's like every kind of fucking Lego thing, shit that we never even had anything like when we were kids. Like, you think Lego, I think Lego anyway, and I think of Lego blocks, like you just regular Lego blocks. No, they don't know nothing about no regular Lego blocks no more. It's Lego Star Wars, Lego fucking every kind of Batman, and Lego Marvel, and Lego this and that, Lego everything. You know, Lego Fast and Furious, probably. You know, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah.
Oh shit! Remember back when they were like before, because back then, they had themed Legos, but it wasn't dedicated to a build. It was just a themed thing. So like, you would have a construction set Lego box that came into like a square tub.
Yeah.
But it didn't have a particular build that you had to do. You could just come up with your own shit. And it was usually like 200-300 fucking pieces, something ridiculous. And remember when they used to be cheap? Like that was like used to be like $2.
Dude, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, I have some friends that have little kids, 4-year-old kids, and they're talking about these Legos like you got to take out a loan to go buy the fucking Legos.
You have to take a fucking loan out. Fuck that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when we were kids, it was like they were cheap. Like Lego was a shit toy. I mean, it was fine. It was like build stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
but we were looking for GI Joes and Transformers and fucking badass shit. You know, like Legos was like whatever. It's fucking Legos. What am I, 4 years old? You know,
right? Yeah.
Like, great, I have Legos. Thanks. You know. But now it's like the thing to have, and they're fucking bourgeois. Like, oh, you want Legos? Well, let's see. Do you have references? You're like, fuck, I gotta make a call, see if my mother-in-law will cover. For, I just, and it's like, it's crazy. Yeah, like $100 for like a little fucking thing of Legos. You know, not even like a big thing of Legos. And you're like, what? It's just plastic, right?
Oh, dude! Like they recently just announced going into an eco-friendly build type Lego. So like it's still gonna have the same texture as plastic, but like if it gets lost out of middle of nowhere, it's not gonna have any negative effects. It's just gonna disintegrate pretty fast.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I saw on one of those like Patreon or Kickstarter, whatever the fuck those things are, where they're like, hey, we want money so we can make this fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw this. It was like Legos, basically. They didn't call them Legos because they get sued out the ass. But it's like big Legos, like the size of like mortar bricks, and it's like it's like for building a house. Like,
oh, I think I've seen something like this when I was over at Lowe's.
Yeah, you probably did.
Okay. Yeah. They like it was that, and they're also using it as a 3D printer, but with concrete.
Yeah, I was like, God dang, these fucking things are expensive. Like for like, it was like for like 50 bricks, it's like $1,000 or something. And I was like, wait a minute, what can you build with 50 bricks? Like a wall, maybe.
Close, like, depending on the length, I guess.
I'm like, how much is sheetrock again? Because I'm pretty sure I can get some 2x4s and some sheetrock. I'm just saying, I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's
Throw-
it's it's interesting, man. Like, have you seen the new the dome housing that they're trying to push over here? Which I think is
No,
great. Like, I would love to purchase this shit personally. They could have cost at like 20 grand per shell. So each shell is going to be a dome house, and you can add on to your shell um over time. So like, say you buy your first shell, it's 20,000. You could put in a wall and then make your bedroom and whatnot.
I
You'll have your
figured
one
it's
entrance, and then if you want to buy another one, you just pay another 20 grand, and they'll come and they will connect
20
another
grand.
shell on to it'd be another room or whatever you want it to be. But it's going to be the same size as the original. So you're looking at like 1,200 square feet, I think, is how big the original shell is. So like, you
Wow.
have, I mean, 20 grand though, that's not bad. That's pretty fucking good. And they're
Well,
concrete. They're
oh
actual
yeah.
concrete. And
Huh. So that's like those fucking houses on Star Wars in the desert.
kinda, yeah. Like bubble houses almost, yeah.
That's cool.
I was
I
like,
bet,
man, like that would be fucking dope to have, dude. I mean, can you
dude,
imagine the air quality? Hell yeah.
dude, those things will last forever. The original fucking set that they built for the first Star Wars is still out there in the fucking desert. Like that shit, that design is really good. Like for that environment, I guess.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. 20 grand per pod.
That's
Interesting.
pretty. I mean, can you imagine? Like, I mean, I'm paying like 80 right now for my 2-story home, and it's just over 2,000 square feet. So, I mean, shit, for 80 grand, I can have almost an 8,000 square foot home. That's
Wow, dude.
badass.
Yeah, that's amazing. See, that's the kind of shit they need to do for Mars, right? Like they need to send, and this is what I think they should do. Instead of sending like all the stuff out to Mars, you
Yeah.
send you send a robot that can make shit out of like what's already there. You know what I mean? Like you send like a robot that can make those fucking pods out of the fucking dirt and shit, the ground itself and stuff like that. And just have the fucking robot work for like 50 years building houses and just and then once all the houses are there, then you send all the people, you know? Like lay the groundwork. I've been thinking about this shit.
Well, shit, they got those fucking concrete 3D printer things that are like fucking.
There you go.
You just like all you got to do is type in commands on the 3D printer and it prints itself. You don't even need somebody in this goddamn thing to operate it. You just type into a computer like the schematic, and then it will fucking 3D print in concrete the kind of house you want right
Well,
there.
fuck. Get that crazy billionaire guy and shoot that stuff to Mars. Let's get this thing started. You know, because that'd be cool if we go to Mars and hang out.
Yeah, right. Dude, I told my girl, I was like, yo, like if we could ever get that kind of money up, I'm like, sign our asses up for Mars as fast as you can. Like,
They said that so Mars is like somewhere in the neighborhood of 2/3 the size of Earth. So gravity is like 70%.
I'm okay
So
with that.
you could you would weigh less. You could jump
Right?
higher. You would if you had kids, they would grow taller.
Good back
Also,
big. Yeah.
it would be
I
strange.
Dude, like I'm telling you, man, like get me off this fucking rock. That's all I care.
Yeah.
Get me off this fucking rock. I mean, politically, I barely align with anybody's fucking political beliefs out here where I live. Like you'd be surprised how like in fact I see like how you said you thought you were more conservative. Like
Yeah.
I'm actually far less conservative than most people think. Like I'm actually a little bit more liberal on a lot of things than I am conservative. Like I could care less about guns. Like I don't give two shit. I don't have guns myself. I'm not saying other people shouldn't have guns. I'm just saying I don't really care either one way or another. Um, it's just so many. It's just so many things like that where it's like, shit. If we can't come to an agreement, it's fine. Send me to Mars. Like, just get me off this rock. We're ran by retards. Get me out of here, please.
I wonder what it would be like. Like, I want you like you imagine what government they would have, like, and would it be like,
we wouldn't be Earthlings anymore. We'd be Martians.
dude, people would look different. Like the people that grew up on Mars would look different. They'd be different. They'd be taller and just different.
You're like, dude,
We would create a whole different race of human.
that'd be cool. I'd be down with that.
Yeah,
Finally,
but then we'd be, you know how we are. We'd be fucking. There'd be racial problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about it that way, but yeah, you're right.
You know how this would go, and they'd be like, "Oh, the damn filthy Martians again!" You know, they're coming and taking our jobs. You know,
They're taking our jobs. Get that gray skin motherfucker out of here. No, I could see that. We are, like we are pretty terrible to each other in this country when you think about it. We are assholes, dude.
we're assholes until we get to know each other. That's the problem. Is like once you stop and talk to somebody for a few minutes, your opinions, people still have their opinions, but for some reason that person's okay. You know, it's like it used to happen when I was a kid because I come from a how do I put this racist town, and so like there was like 3 black people in my school, all right, and so you know how it is. You come from a fucking racial fucking bullshit town in the middle of Texas. People have different ways of thinking and things like that.
Y'all come around here often, boy.
But it was funny. It was funny in the course of my life. It was funny to see how there would be like remember I said there's like 3 black kids in the whole school. So one of the 3 black kids comes up and everybody's cool with them. And they're like, yeah, oh, he's okay. He's okay. But you know, and I'm like, come on, man. It's just funny how people, they refuse to let go of their like belief about like a group, but their belief is not based in reality. I don't know.
No, it's based off of years and years and years of learned behavior, right? Like
it's just people like to be on a team. That's what it is. Like, are you part of the team? Or are you not part of the team? I mean, come on. You know, we're all trying to win here. Are you going to be on the team or what? And you're like, I guess.
Sure, maybe. Like,
well, I don't want to not be on the team.
Right. You know? I mean, how awkward would it be? I mean, and that's another thing. Like, not many people are okay with being the black sheep outside of the group. You know what I mean? Like, so many people feel like they have to be a part of something, and they're willing to sacrifice like their own standards just to be,
that's
part of the group, which is kind of weird. I've never personally understood that. Like, what was that term
you said people referred to you?
As anti-identitarianism.
Yeah, that's anti-identitarianism.
That's so fucking stupid. Let's just put an ism at the end of anything, and it sounds intelligent. Let's go with it. That's kind of where we're at right now when it comes to the internet.
Hi, my name's Brim, and I'm an anti-identitarianist. Nice to meet you, Brim. I know it is.
I'm an anti-identitarianist that identifies as an egalitarian, but I'm more of a socialist.
Oh my God, you're a trans self-identifier.
Oh God. Can you imagine the fucking mental fuckery you'd be putting people under when you said that shit to them? They're gonna be like, "What? Like the fuck is that?" Like,
I also believe in go-getism. I believe that's a real thing. You're the founding member of the go-getist movement.
Go-getism, Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's just silliness. It's so everything is so silly now. Like if if you ever just really step back and look at it, it's just so ridiculous. Like people are just, I don't know, consumed with nonsense.
They would rather focus on the nonsense than the important issues, right? You ask somebody, why do why do you go after this channel, or what do you do say, or what do you say things about this channel? And it's like, oh, because they're not for freedom of speech, or they're not for this and they're not for that. And it's like, oh, okay. So in that case, shouldn't you be more active towards actually trying to change perhaps other people around you? Like try to, gather them around and become more of a motivator, see if you can help change other people's perspectives instead of just shitting on them. And it's like, no, I don't have time for that. Then why the fuck are you on YouTube? Like,
Well,
you're not going to help anybody on YouTube.
Yeah. it goes back to the contempt that people have for each other,
Yeah.
And that's what's most fucked up is, for some reason, we have all decided that everyone else sucks, and and we have contempt for everyone. We don't even want to give people a chance anymore. We don't want to even look at people as people, right?
Yeah.
People, and like I said in one of my videos not that long ago, you hear a lot of people say, I hate people. I hate people. I hate being around people. I hate talking to people. I hate seeing people. I hate having to explain myself to people.
Yeah.
Like, who are these people that you're talking about? Because it's like, again, dehumanizing. It's just this way of separating yourself from everyone else in a way where you're like,
I think we're all sort of guilty of it to a certain extent. Like I used to be the same way. I used to tell people all the time, like, "Oh yeah, I hate people," and at the end of it, though, like I still, even though I hate people, like I still try to help people. Like there's a part of me that's still like, okay, well maybe I don't hate people that much, but man, do they piss me off.
The thing is, you can't help people and you can't hate people, but you could help a person.
Yeah,
and you could hate a person. Right?
Yeah.
But the concept of people, it's just this, it's so vague. It's just this, I don't know. Detached.
Well, whenever I ever said it, it was always based on the general public when it came to certain topics, right? I mean, for fuck's sakes, when Trump first came around, it was like every redneck came out of nowhere. It was like, we're voting Trump. Woo! Like, I'm just like,
it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
and the thing that got, and that's, so whenever I would say I hate people, I'd be like, okay, those generalized people that are just like fucking retarded and they're not really giving anybody an honest opinion. They're just screaming Trump and acting like a dumb redneck. Then yeah, I would go on as far as saying I hate people like that. But I don't know. I think I've gotten pretty. I think I've gotten wiser in my years because I'm not really so much like that anymore.
Oh, I've totally gotten less wise. Because I now know that I don't know. And I'm serious. Like, the biggest problem I ever had when I was young was I thought I knew shit. And the older I got, the more I realized, oh, I don't fucking know. And guess what? Nobody else does either. But some people are better at convincing themselves or others that they might know something.
Yeah.
But no, man, that's why we have fucking computers, because we don't know shit. Like if we didn't have a smartphone, you would know. Come on, you gotta what? How many times you look something up because it's like, remember the old days when you wanted to look something up, you had to go to the fucking library.
Yeah.
Nobody went to the library.
Yeah.
People just acted like,
anyways. Yeah.
People just acted like they knew.
Yeah.
They wouldn't actually go look it up and double check. They would just be like, oh yeah, oh Bob, you remember Bob, he told, and I heard from him, and he heard from, Luann that that rock right there came from Mars. That's Martian rock. That's why it looks like that. Oh, is that why it looks like that? Yep, that's from Martian rock. Oh wow. Turns out, shit ain't even a rock. It's petrified wood or whatever. And anyway, Bob killed himself. Damn. The spoiler alert, Goget. Thanks. Let me ask you a question. Since you brought up Trump, I want to ask you a question. I want to get your thoughts on this.
All right.
Did you vote?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm assuming you voted for Trump.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I'm not necessarily asking if you did this, but I'm curious because you did vote for Trump. Mm-hmm. What do you think about this? Do you think that there was a significant portion of people that voted for Trump that were like, how do I say this? You know how like people will like just fucking try something to see what happens? Like
like one of those like, hey, let's put my fucking hand in a toaster while it's on and see what happens.
Right. Like, you know what? I know I shouldn't set off this rocket inside my own house, but
how funny would it be?
Right. Do you think that was a factor?
I want to say it was half. I would say half.
Wow.
Half. I would say half.
That's interesting.
I say half of people did that because they didn't feel like turning the TV on or looking things up. So a lot of their opinions are formed based on the circles that they keep. So social media had a huge influence in this. People didn't want to research Trump himself.
Yes, that's what I also wondered.
So like a lot of people were like, yeah, you know what? My friends are voting for him. My family's voting for him. Let's just fucking vote for him and see what happens, Right. So I would say like half of it was, just social circles influencing each other without actually looking shit up. And then if you're like me, who's critical, sometimes I'm a little too critical at some points. Everything that I did for this voting cycle was based purely on the research that I did on the man himself. And I looked at all the allegations and I looked at the merits of how these allegations came around. And I saw that there's a lot of people that really, all of a sudden switched on him after they found out he was running as a president. A lot of people in which he bought into. So I see a lot of hypocrisy coming from allegations that were just out of thin air. So
what's up with that chick? Do you know anything about that chick?
Which chick? The blonde chick that supposedly paid, or Trump supposedly paid off to keep her quiet, or his lawyer.
Yeah, that porn star or whatever.
Oh fuck! Please, like I don't.
They keep bringing her up all the time.
I'll put it this way. Did you keep up with any of the allegations about the rape allegations about that older lady that supposedly like he fondled her or whatever?
No, this is the first time hearing of that.
Okay, so there was this older lady, okay, and she looked like she was in her 60s or 70s. Ooh. And she made this claim that Trump fucking raped her, all right?
When she, like recently or like a long time ago?
A long time ago, yeah. This was
okay, thank God. I was like, dude.
And I was, and when I looked into the case, I looked into this, and it was funny because like nobody heard anything about this until just before his election. And then later the emails came out saying that like Hillary helped this lady fucking get her into this particular situation to make these allegations come out. So I think it's pretty much right now just playing on anybody who identifies or who has a left-leaning bias against them. I think that they're playing on that, you know what I mean? Because they just don't like Trump that much and they don't care, you know what I mean? And that's why I say like I do support him, but like I also see the stupidity that is him. So I feel me when you only have Hillary and him to choose from, it's not exactly a fucking strong pull to pull from. You know what I mean?
You know, it's dude, yeah. So as time has gone by and I've watched what's happened with Trump, I have to say, like, it's been amusing, but it's also been concerning, you know. And I have to ask myself, I do ask myself sometimes, I'm like, man, what would it have been like if Hillary had won? Because I think it would have been much less interesting. But I also, I hate Hillary Clinton. Like, I do not like her at all.
Yeah, neither do I.
She is. I mean, I've watched documentaries about the Clintons and
oh yeah, she's like probably one of the most vile people in Congress.
She's a horrible person and completely untrustworthy. Like, and like just giving her power would be like the scene in that second Star Wars movie when the Emperor, you know, takes control of everything. You know, like, and you know, she was basically, you know, Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
And that's what she would have been. She would have been just this iron fist of fucking hate, you know, because she's a nasty person and she holds grudges and like the, you know, anyway. So I did vote for her, but it was only because of what you just said. You looked at the options and you said, well, what's the lesser of two evils? Yeah. And I didn't have any problem with Donald Trump until he started acting insane. And then I was like, what's happening with him? You know, because I actually thought about voting for him. And then I was like, uh-oh. Yeah. And I don't think he expected to win. And but see, the thing is, I predicted, not that I'm like some kind of clairvoyant, but I did predict he was going to win like a year before, like during the primaries when he was still facing off against all the other people. I had a feeling that he was going to win. And I told everybody that, and they laughed at me. And I was like, I think he's going to win. And it was because he was so different and people were fascinated with him. And I was like, yeah.
I'll put it this way, dude. Like, he's the first president or somebody that ran for president. He is the first one that I have ever watched almost all of their speeches when it came to coming to Arizona, Nevada. Anytime he was on Facebook going live, here at you damn Skippy, my ass is there watching it. Dude, like, he was the first one I've ever actually gravitated towards and listened to what he had to say, because the first speech I ever watched of him, right? A few of my friends were like, yo, like, you should just give this a chance. I'm like, dude, I fucking hate this guy. Like, I don't like Trump, period. Like, I fucking can't stand Trump. Okay. His TV shit, when he was on TV, I couldn't stand watching him. Right. But but my friend was like, dude, just trust me on this. Just watch it. So I did. I watched everything he had to say during his first Arizona speech. And I was fucking blown away. I was like, dude, this guy, like, as dumb as he comes off on TV, he seems like he knows his shit when it comes to business. And I was like, maybe, you know, it kind of gave me that fresh look of like, maybe we should have somebody that, you know, a lot of people are like, well, he's gone bankrupt this many times. And I'm like, yeah, he's gone bankrupt that many times and the motherfucker's still rich. Think about that. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I was telling people. Like, think about that. Like, this motherfucker's gone bankrupt. How many people do you know in your life that have gone bankrupt that many times and can still afford to buy multiple fucking Boeing jets? I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm thinking, well, maybe, you know, maybe we need somebody like that, you know, somebody who could pull us up from the fucking dirts, you know, from all the shit that was going on.
I think that's what it is. Like, we had 8 years of Obama, and I think that people wanted, you know, people always want to like cleanse their palate, right?
Yeah.
You know, they go for the opposite the next time around.
Yeah.
And you know, the Clinton people, man, they had everybody convinced that was a sure thing. You know, like, oh yeah, we got this in the bag. You know,
And
Right.
you know what I hated about that whole situation with the Clintons, dude, is like a lot of people were saying that if you didn't vote for her, you're just being a misogynistic prick.
Oh
You know what
God.
I mean?
Oh shit.
Misogyny, misogyny. You're a sexist piece of shit. And it was like, come on, guys. Like, really, it's that simple? Really? It's that simple. So we
Again,
should just overlook everything. No.
yeah. Again, it goes to that whole like, we've got to be shocked. Oh my God, what's happening now? And who's the victim this week? You know, and how is it? How is it white man's fault again? You know. So this is
Yeah.
why I don't consider myself a liberal, because I do skew a little bit conservative, and I hate feminism. I find feminism to be destructive. To our culture, to our families, and to the identities of people. People used to identify themselves as husband, wife, father, mother, and now people are just confused about how to
Yeah.
even, who are we? Like, we're just this amorphous fucking mass,
And see, like me, like I am all about classical feminism and not this third wave bullshit that we have
There you go.
nowadays.
Classical feminism. There you go.
Classical feminism is something I support, but third wave feminists, like, they should just all fucking die. Like, I
This,
can't stand those
I don't
people.
know what to call this shit that's going on
Oh, this is
now.
all
Like,
third wave. This is all third wave bullshit, dude. They have first, second, and third. First wave is classical. Second wave is like a hybrid of the two, but it's not nearly as crazy as third wave. Third wave is insane. Like, these are the same women who will tell people on forums that they will do home abortions if they find out that they're giving birth to a boy. And they do this shit all the time.
you
It's
know,
sad.
I'm going to tell you a secret. You like secrets? I'm going to tell you a secret.
Sure, is it gonna be really considered a secret? Meaning how we're live?
I tell secrets on live streams all the time. Like,
Oh,
stuff,
okay, good.
really personal shit. I don't know why I do that. I just do it. Um, I used to watch Oprah all the time. Like, I used to watch Oprah and fucking what's that? Maury Povich.
Oh
And
fuck.
I watched all those daytime shows, right? I watched People's Court, Judge Joe Brown, fucking I watched all the day shows, but I used to watch Oprah way before that. Like in the 80s. In the late
Yeah.
80s and early 90s, I used to watch Oprah. And Oprah, I don't know what she turned into later on, but like in the 80s and early 90s, she had an agenda to, she was talking to women. Her show was for women, it was about women, but like, whatever. I would watch it sometimes. And
Uh-huh.
it was, and because I watched a lot of shit. And,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
but one of the things that used to really upset me was that she had this agenda where she would have women come on and talk about how horrible men are. They would they would come on and they would tell you how men, literally the word was oversexed, and just like talk about men like we're stupid and we're just these monsters that ruin everything. And thank God women are there, because if not, it would just be men, and the world would be horrible. And
Oh boy.
so anyway, it really bothered me that we were told, that I felt like I was being told that I was wrong for being a man. Wrong. You're wrong for being a man. You shouldn't be a man. You're wrong.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think like this is a message that penetrated into into our educational process at some point. And now you have a generation of not just women, not just young women, but young men who feel it's wrong to be a man, who have been told and told and told their whole life that male characteristics are wrong. And
Yeah. We call them betas.
yeah, it really pisses me off. I'm like,
Yeah, no, I know it sounded like I was joking, but I'm not. That's what we call betas on YouTube. It's sad to see that,
mm,
because you would think these kids, especially nowadays. Like you would think that more and more kids being raised around technology like they have been, um, they would be more self-aware than they have been. You know what I mean? Like you would think self-awareness would be instilled at an earlier age. You would think logical discourse would be instilled at an earlier age. You would think comprehensive social awareness. I mean, it just so many things that you would think would be there and they're not because their parents, or in this case, the mother, uh, chooses to push these ideals down their kids' throats, usually, or the schools. It's usually the schools, not so much the mothers. Um, and it's sad, man. I mean, you're talking about a school generation now where half the stuff they're teaching these kids now, Cyrus, like they were banning, they banned that shit when we were going to school. You know what I mean? Like when we were going to school, it was like if your teacher even so much as tried to teach religion to your ass, like you would, as soon as you reported that shit, that teacher got reprimanded. Like that's just how it was.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's like fucking, it's the opposite. Feminism, third wave feminism is being taught in our schools. Religion's being taught in the schools. From what I understand, out there by you, there's a few campuses out by your way, and I know there's a few campuses in Phoenix, Arizona, on my end of the world, where they were trying to actually teach Islam, where they were trying to show
Oh,
students
like his religious
Islam.
studies or whatever.
Yeah, religious studies. Yeah.
I
Um,
used to work with a lady who converted to Islam, and she was an older white lady, believe it or not.
uh-huh.
It's gonna sound weird, but I'm gonna tell you that one of the jobs I had, I was seated next to, because we were like in a big room. I was working for a customer service department for a major shipper, like a company that ships things.
Yeah.
And we were doing customer service, and we're all in this big, huge room, and we had these long desks, and we would just sit next to each other in our workstations. And sitting next to me for several months, this older white lady got hired, and she would come to work wearing the full fucking regalia, like
The hijab.
you know,
Yeah.
whatever you call it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to say to her or whatever. Like first couple 3 weeks was pretty awkward because this was like 2007 ish. So we were still in Iraq, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I'm like, she was super nice to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Super fucking nice. One of the nicest people I ever talked to. But it took me a long time before I started talking to her. Because I was like, I don't know about this, but like eventually you in the course of doing your job, you have to say things and you get to know people. And she was like a normal person, except that she wore that thing, whatever, the hijab, or
Yeah.
she wore that, and she would bring up Islam a lot. And she but she would always talk about how Islam is peace and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. And nobody gave her any shit, which was really surprising also.
That is pretty. Wait, you're in Texas, right? Like,
yeah,
unheard of, man.
Yeah, but it was fascinating to me because I was like, so why did you do that? Why did you convert to Islam? Like, because she converted like a year before, she hadn't been in that for very long, and she was like, she told me a story that sounded like pretty much every other like come to Jesus story, except it's not Jesus. It's what's his name?
Muhammad.
That guy. So basically she was down on her luck, not having, her life was not going well, blah blah blah. She had some friends. They told her about this place. She goes to the place. She meets a bunch of friends. She goes more regularly. She decides to join. And it's like everything's like a regular church. And I'm like, what? I was like, this is you go to the Islamic whatever the hell they call that thing. I don't know what they call it. What do they call it? A temple? What do they call it?
It's a mosque.
Whatever. The mosque. I don't know my Islam. Sorry. So she goes to the mosque all the time, and I'm like, wow, like it just was so like the concept was so foreign to me. You know, I was like, you did this to yourself on purpose, and, you know. But
It's fucking
but
funny.
she was. But I'm trying to tell you, she was very happy, and she was super nice. And I would ask her shit because I would be like, hey, I'm gonna ask you a question. How do they treat you? She's like, oh, everybody treats me really well and everything, you know. And I'm like, really? Like, I'm like, why are you wearing this? Do they make you wear this and all? She's like, no, I wear it because it's part of the thing, and you don't have to do it, but I want to do it. And I'm like, what? So I haven't bothered to like do any like real looking into that church. What do you call it? Is it a church? I guess it's a church.
Mosque.
Whatever. It's I haven't looked, but I just thought it was fascinating because I never knew anybody that was openly Islamic and was new to Islam and was white. You know?
See, like Islam is pretty much the modern day Christianity coming out of the Stone Ages, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Islam, when it comes to being practiced over here in the United States, it's a little bit more passive.
Did I just say something racist? I'm hearing
not that I know of.
Okay. I was hearing my own voice and I'm like, you just wait, what did you say? Okay.
No, there's a lot of referendums that they need to do to their religion in order for it to be compatible over here. And that's kind of what happened with Christianity. Like back when the Crusades happened, after all that bloodshed took place, they had to really like sort of rethink the Bible because there was a lot of dark shit going on in there that people were utilizing to their advantages. And that's kind of like what Islam is going through right now. Like there's a lot of dark shit that's in that fucking thing.
Yeah. You think that's what it is? It's like, it's not the church, it's the people kind of thing.
Yeah. It's
interesting.
Well, even the imams, like some of the imams that come over here are pretty peaceful people. And they are literally coming from a place where imams are told that they have to teach the darker side of the Quran, and that's usually like talking about jihad and you have to push your religion down people's throats. If you don't, you are not really a believer of Islam or Muhammad, and it's like I said.
So it's kind of like if David Koresh had like taken over the whole church, like all the Christian churches. Remember David Koresh? The guy from Waco that said he was Jesus come back and everybody.
Oh fuck yeah! It's been a while since I've heard that name.
I'm from Texas. David Koresh is very well known here. I'm sorry. I was like, oh, he doesn't know who I'm talking about. Never mind. Bad example.
Sorry, Beatmaster. I was just using it as a reference, but I wasn't really trying to say that was fact or anything.
Do what?
Oh, he was correcting me on Christianity. I know it didn't start the Crusades.
I think we're just kind of getting at a general point there.
I was just trying. Yeah, I was just trying to get to a general like point of reference. Where
interesting. But I thought I don't know why I wanted to like bring that up. I just felt like, hey, I should talk about this because it's funny how like a conversation will lead you to something. Like, you know what? I'm gonna talk about this.
It's crazy to think about because like it is a religion that's kind of like taking our country by storm. A lot of people are getting into it. And I guess the best thing to do though, like, is don't fall into the fucking bullshit here on YouTube or social media in general.
I find that so interesting because
most of those people tell you like they're trying to take over the world and shit.
it just seems like everybody's leaving religion, and then you hear that people are joining this one, and it's like, what are they doing different? Because every other you know what I'm saying? Like every other church is like they can't get nobody to go no more, you know?
Yeah. Well, like look at the churches over here, at least in our country, dude. Like we're talking about a multi billion-dollar fucking industry. Like I mean, you shouldn't be able to use a word like religion and industry in the same sentence. Okay, like you shouldn't be able to, but they do.
Yeah. Oh man, you remember when we had that flood in Houston and that dude that with the mega church wouldn't let people in there?
Yeah, I remember that shit.
That's why people don't go to church, because they see
It's
shit like that.
fake. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake nice. It's like yeah, when you're there, they're like, oh yeah, you should treat everybody like equals. But when it comes down to it, they're not going to. Like,
I don't know,
here,
man. Like,
let me put out that donation tray. Here you go.
yeah, let me pass around their Patreon information. You know, fucking everybody got their hand out these days.
Pretty much. That way, and that guy was a super church, right? Like that guy is actually wealthy as fuck.
Yeah, the dude had mansions in Houston and Florida. He had his own fucking jet. He had a fucking complex bigger than a football fucking stadium, and he wouldn't let nobody in there. Even though I'm like, man,
didn't he say it was like a safety hazard or some shit? That's why he didn't let people in there.
Yeah, and then there was people walked up to the door with their cell phones taking video showing there's nothing.
Yeah. That guy got fucking exposed super quick. Did he ever go out of business or no?
Oh no. No, people were a little mad for a while, but of course,
No, forgiveness, right?
he greased some palms and got everybody back, calmed down, and everybody's back to church again.
Dude, they got mega churches all over California. Like California is ridiculous. Like if you start up, if you start a church up and it catches on, dude, you're gonna become like a millionaire in less than a year.
Have you ever listened to some of these guys talk? Like some of these preachers are fucking good. Like they are like the most. I don't know, man. They got like these are the best of the best, like public speakers, that can like talk.
We are talking about Genesis 3:16. My brother shall not cross the road because the chicken is ahead of him.
Well, what I mean is like some of these guys, they know exactly how to talk to people, and get what they want out of them, and make them feel better about themselves. That's what it's really about. These mega churches. It's about making you feel better about yourself. It's like self-help or whatever.
I don't know. I've always personally taken issue with these preachers when you see them driving out of their church with a fucking Camaro. Like, I want to knock that motherfucker out, dude. Personally. Yeah. Like, that shit pisses me off.
Get some rest, Go
to sleep, Go Get. Jesus. Yeah, hey, Go Get. I'll be on later today, man. I'm off today. I had my orientation day before yesterday, so that was on my weekend. And they're like, hey, we'll give you tomorrow off. I'm like, all right, sweet. So I'm off today. Fuck yes.
Dude, I've been working overtime. I haven't had a day off.
Yeah, what's up with the overtime stuff, man?
Oh, man. It's just that season. It's just the season. And, dude.
More people die this time around or what?
I don't know. We're working again this weekend. So I will have gone 4 weeks without a day off. I don't know when I'm going to get a fucking day off.
If you guys don't know, Cyrus goes in like fucking elbow deep in cadavers' asses.
Yeah, I'm actually a male prostitute. And, those cadavers, quote unquote, are actually old white men. I'm very specific about my clientele.
That's why his teeth are so clean all the time, because he always switches them out.
I hang out around back at the golf course, and I just wait for them to drive up on the little buggies. And I'm like, we had this little like this little way of speaking, so I'll know who's who, and I'll be like, "You hitting with a 9-iron today?" And they'll go 4. That's how we know. That's it.
No homo. Supposed to say no homo at the end of this.
Oh, right? No homo.
No homo. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh, what time is it? Oh, Jesus.
Good to talk to you again, Brim. Like I said, we missed.
It's always good. It's always good, man. I'm glad I was able to talk to you, man. I think you're like the first human being I've talked to in like a week next to Shane, man.
It's joke's on you. I'm not human. Ha ha.
He's a Martian.
Danger, danger. Wherever the fuck those exterminate.
No, fucking
exterminate.
Yeah. Fucking love Doctor Who. Love that show. It used to be one of my favorite shows until
Doctor Who's a chick now.
Yeah, Doctor Who's a chick now, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, huh.
Hey, did you see that remake of Lost in Space?
They did a remake of that?
Yeah, Netflix is doing a new show. It actually looks pretty cool.
Wait, is it gonna be a show or a movie?
It's a show.
Huh.
Dude, the robot is like an alien now, and it's like cool. And Dr. Smith is a chick.
This should be interesting.
Everybody's a chick now. That's the
I wonder if the alien's gonna be trans.
probably.
Like, are you a boy or girl? I am whatever you need me to be.
These terms do not apply to me, as I do not identify as a specific gender or whatever. Oh,
he's an anti-identitarianism.
Yeah. In fact, your question is an example of the patriarchy, which I am opposed to.
You know what?
Now I will protest with my sign and my flag. Here we go.
My sign and my flag. You're gonna have a fucking Antifa flag.
Fucking robots Antifa. Fuck! We can't get away.
Oh man. Yeah, that'd be funny.
It's like we're lost in space. There's only one dude. Okay, he's outnumbered by chicks and a little kid. Can you fucking just back off with your Antifa?
Right.
I don't know.
Let's see. We're coming up on.
You want to wrap it up? I'm.
Wait, what am I wrapping up here?
Like the way you work it, yo, dig it. About to bag it up.
Yeah, we could go ahead and end it soon. Thank you to everybody that's watched. Thank you, Cyrus, for coming on, man.
Dude, it's my pleasure.
It's his pleasure. I'm gonna get some food. Of course, I will be in Discord, and me and him will be chatting. So if you guys are up and you guys want to chat in Discord, I'll be there. But yeah, thank you guys for stopping by. Thumbs up if you like the show. Thumbs down if you don't, and explain why you don't.
If it's my fault, don't explain.
If it's his fault, just leave a long diatribe as to how you're a fucking pussy that can't let go of things from 3 years ago.
Right. Why PC is objectively better than console.
Oh fuck. Peace out, guys.